All right. Welcome, friends, to the Purpose to Profit Academy, the Expert Speaker Series. And today I'm so excited to welcome Crystal Adair-Benning to our series. And we will be talking about mastering the art of copywriting. Crystal is a word magician. She is a copywriter and a ghostwriter. And Crystal, welcome, first of all, Crystal. So
Thank
happy to
you.
have you.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Wonderful. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs are struggling writing their copy. They are lost about how to write it, what to put in it, where to post, how to post. I know we're going to talk about mastering, copywriting, but where they should start in this, in this process.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the beautiful thing. I can tell you how to do it that's right for algorithms and like frequency and all of that stuff. But what I really want to say is honestly, you need to take into consideration who you are, who your business is, and who your client is, and come up with a strategy that works for you. And that is a custom strategy that works. So I know that posting several times a day on social media is actually super beneficial for most businesses. If I'm trying to get the algorithm running and I want to be in front of more people, I know that strategically that's the right thing to do. I also know that it doesn't work for me and it doesn't work for my business and it doesn't work for most of my clients. So my strategy for social media posting, for me personally, for example, is that I post when I feel inspired, when I have something valuable to share, and when I'm in the mood of creating and want to share that. I have tools and tactics to write when I'm in flow. And I just save those posts for moments when I'm like, yeah, I don't have anything to say this week. There's always something to be said. It doesn't mean you have to write it in the moment. You can have stuff kind of in the background, waiting in the wings and ready to go. And that's what my method for quantum copy allows, is for you to find your flow for writing, your flow for posting, and essentially creating those moments when that flow and that creativity is really at its all-time best.
Love it. I love that you're talking about writing and posting as a flow. And it is a flow. Business is a flow. Life is a flow. Our emotions are in flow, right? How to get into that flow. Because I remember myself years and years back that I would just sit down with my laptop, ready to like write something. And I would sit there for like hours without anything, nothing was coming out of me. It was like a mindset shift and energetic shift to get into the flow. Now, do you recommend something to your clients, how to get into that creative flow?
Yeah, I recommend that you stop worrying about it. I recommend that you stop stressing about it, that you put time in your calendar that becomes free and allows you to find space. My most creative moments, this is going to sound really silly, but I have 3 places where I create the most. 1, out in nature, not at my desk. Take my cell phone, jot myself a note, create something. That's my first point. My second one, the shower. My brain turns off and like it also turns on, right? It can think about things, it can ponder things and be like, why did that happen? Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, that's a good post. Okay, really great. So I actually invested in a little whiteboard that's in my shower and that I can like write notes in my shower if things come up and I just get a brainstorm. So that's a great place. And the third place, it's going to sound really funny, but it's actually one of my faves. We call it illumination via elimination. Most of us get brilliant ideas in the bathroom.
I love,
Right?
oh my God.
Illumination via elimination. When you are sitting on the proverbial throne, there's something about it that just is like, I suddenly have a second to myself to breathe and think, especially if you're somebody who is go, go, go and never stops. Those moments where you stop is actually where your brain starts and it allows the creativity to come through. So bathrooms are great in 2 ways: shower or toilet, take your pick, or get outside, go into nature, step away from your desk and you'd be amazed at what's going to come up. So those are 3 places that I love. My other tool to start from is something that I call the scroll stopper. And I love this. So you've got a cell phone, right?
Yep.
I want you to open up your cell phone. It's really easy. And you're just going to go straight to your camera roll. So whatever camera roll is, you're going to go to camera roll, and you're literally going to go all photos and scroll, 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 however many scrolls you want to do. Sometimes I go back a ton, sometimes I don't. And stop. That first picture that comes up,
Yeah.
how would you turn that into a post? It's just a way to get your creativity bubbling. How would you turn this into a post about your business? Well, in this particular picture, I'm in New Zealand with a new friend that I met because I happened to say the right words in a lineup. And suddenly she was very attracted to my husband and I, and we ended up chatting. And this lovely lady has since gone to dinner with us in New Zealand, invited us to her home in Australia, and become a fantastic friend in our lives, all because of word magic. That's how I would have worded that post. If your business is about coaching, you might speak about some coaching you did with her. If your business is about finance, maybe you gave her some financial advice. You always have a way to turn it into a post. But if you just want to get your creativity bubbling, if you're like, I'm not feeling creative today, a picture that speaks 1,000 words gives you a chance to put those 1,000 words together to make it a post. So that's a really easy way to kind of get those juices flowing and get you moving towards something. You don't have to post that, by the way. It's a way for me to kind of go like, I need to post something. Let's get creative, and I can tap into that creativity.
I love that, Crystal. And to me, nature is number one. I would just take my notebook
Always.
and go out walking. I would just ask myself a question, what about, what's coming through me right now? What's my truth to share with my, people right now? And just like open up. And sometimes I would need like a couple of minutes just to start
Yeah.
those ideas, flowing when you're
Yeah.
like mostly relaxed and open and not kind of, in your head, but in your body, you're breathing, you're opening up, and it's just like magic happens. To me, another tool is journaling. Like I would journal in the morning and I would just go through my journaling and it would say like, say, oh, this could be a post. And this idea is like a little, I don't know, a quote from me,
Yeah.
another post. And this is another idea for like a reel. So another tool that
So
I highly
you're doing
value.
something that like we call it intuitive journaling. So
Yeah.
intuitive journal, it's a little bit different. Some people do like brain dump journaling where they just open up their journal and they scribble out whatever's coming out to them. Intuitive journaling is more when you open up a page and you ask yourself a question, and without judgment, without overthinking it, you just write the answer. And it's the answer that just like pops in your head. Sometimes it makes no sense when you write it, but as you write, you'll get clarity. So I use this often when I have a big decision to make. So if I'm like deciding whether I'm going to take on a new client, if I'm deciding whether I'm going to speak on a specific stage, if I'm deciding, if I'm making a new offer and I'm not sure about my new offer, I'll say, how would you launch this offer? And then I just scribble out whatever comes to me. Oh, I do that and this and that. It doesn't mean I have to use everything on the page, but the simple act of allowing my intuition to flex onto the page gives me almost that mirrored reflection back to say, hey, this is what your intuition says. And 99% of the time, it's right. It's so right. So it could be, what should I post about today? What do I intuitively feel guided to post today? What should what are people loving about my work today?
Yeah.
Write yourself a little, allow the intuitive inside of you to speak, and you will be shocked at how easy the writing is. And then when all of that has been expressed, the next step for me is always something that I call quantum copy method, which is my proprietary system. But essentially, it's figuring out who you are, who your client is, and who your business is to get clarity in what they might want to hear about, and also how they want to hear about it. Right? We can write the best post in the world, but if we're not connecting to them through the right words and the right filter, they're never going to understand it. They're never going to read it, and they're literally going to ignore it or never see it in the first place. So we want to take our ideas and distill them in a way that our clients and our audience gets it. And not only gets it, they love it so much they open their wallets and start handing us money. It's great.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, how do you craft that message that actually converts those people who are just, reading you into
Yeah.
your loyal clients? What are the strategies? What are the, ways to do that?
So let's talk a little bit about kind of an intro to quantum copy. I'll give you the first little bit of it so you guys can kind of get an idea. I'm going to share my screen so I can, oh, I need you to let me
Oh,
share my
give you
screen.
the rights? Yes.
Yes, please give me the rights. I can
Make,
explain this, but so much easier if you all can see it.
yep,
Amazing.
you
Thank
are
you.
the host.
Share screen. Okay, so
Sure.
this is the first tool that you need to understand when it comes to quantum copy. So I call this system the belief bubbles. So we each internally have beliefs inside of us, things that we live, breathe, and die by, right? Every decision we make gets passed through our belief filter or our belief bubble before we make that decision. Now, there's two types of beliefs in our world. There's the belief, i.e., the way I live it, meaning every day I show up and I make decisions based on this belief. This is how I am living. This is the belief I'm living. And we have a neurological belief and understanding, like, yeah, I understand how that works, but it just doesn't apply to me, or I'm not there yet, right?
Mhm.
We'll all say that. So
Yeah.
I want you to think of this, first of all, just while I'm explaining this, consider where you might be. Consider what belief bubble you might be in. So at the very bottom of our levels, we have this one at the bottom here, these cute little babes. These are survivors. And I want you to think about what babies do. They eat, sleep, poop, cry. Their sole intention, right, is to make sure that there's a roof over their head, they're fed, and they're going to survive to make it another day. That's their entire intention. This also
Mhm.
applies to homeless, war-torn countries and refugees, or people that have experienced natural disasters, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere where your survival is the only concern that matters in that moment, you're in survival mode. We don't
Mhm.
typically advertise to survivors, right? It would be super awkward to go into Maui, for example, with everything that it's just experienced as of the time of this recording, and be like, hey, come to my rave. We're gonna teach you how to make $1 million. Like, people in Maui right now are just like, I just need a house.
Yeah.
I need food. I need shelter. I need water, right? They're not worried about the $1 million rave that you're trying to sell them. They just want this. Next level we go into is something that I call cult cohesion. Cult cohesion, I use the term cult because I really want you to think of it like belonging. The
Mhm.
reason that cults exist is because they form the sense of belonging inside of us, right? We feel
Mhm.
connected to other people. Who's most susceptible to a cult? Somebody who's desperately looking to belong.
Absolutely. Love it.
Also applies to our beautiful, lovely toddlers, right?
Mm.
Toddlers suddenly recognize that they are part of something. It's not about me, it's about we. We have a sister, a mom, a brother, a cousin, and we might be part of the church, and we're trying to mimic what everybody around us does so that we belong. So in a cult situation, you drink the lemonade, I drink the lemonade. In home, it might be we eat turkey at Christmas. We always go to church on Sundays. Nobody in my family wears jeans, right?
Mhm.
And we adopt those practices so that we find belonging. Then we move into our teen years. We all go through this ladder. So you all did this or are doing this.
Oh yeah. I
In our
love it.
teen years, we are the black sheep, right? If you've ever said or heard the phrase, I'm not like you are
Mhm.
fully living your black sheep moment. You are a unique snowflake. Nobody understands you. Nobody gets you. And you are completely separate from everybody else, right? Black sheep, teenagers, of course. Musicians and artists, however, are some of the more surprising black sheep in our lives. Lady Gaga is a classic example of a black sheep doing it her own way. A little
Mhm.
bit unique, a little bit different. She has an incredible following because she's so different and so unique, right?
Absolutely love it.
Then we move into our fours. These are our family rules. Now, I want you to think of family in quotation marks because family is just another term that we're going to use for community, collective,
Mhm.
organization, right?
Yeah.
It's a group
Systems.
of people that all follow the same rules. And you said the classic word that they love here: system, process, steps, guidelines. They live and breathe by this stuff. This is government, military, schools, religions. We all abide by this. It's a place of we that is guided by a system, process, tool, step, rule, right? We got this. If you have ever met a mom and stepped into her kitchen and been like, oh, I'll help make the kids lunches, I got this. And she was like, oh, no. There's a whole process. It's a system. There's a thing. Like, the one only eats cucumber if it's cut up in stars, and the other one doesn't eat cheese unless it's in a wrapper with like 4 coatings of candy. And like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The moms or dads who make lunches understand it's not something you desperately want to pass it off, but you can't, because there's a system. And we can't mess with the system. That's where family rules falls and applies. Then we move into our fives. Our fives are achievement addicts. They're achieving one of two things. Either they're looking for financial success or some kind of an achievement success. But the goal here is success. They're trying to achieve something. They want success. These people love hustle, drive. They're looking for easier, faster, better, stronger. They are in the hustle of life. These are classic entrepreneurs, right? And they're usually doing it because they've been in the rules, they followed the rules, they did all the things, and it wasn't working out for them. And now they're going, well, hold on, that didn't work. And now I'm going to try this other thing because I think I've got a better way to do this. That's usually what's happened to us, right? So we've moved into our achievements. From our achievements, we become spiritual souls. Now, I always joke about this, that spiritual souls are the people that we, often would like to run off to Peru and lick a toad and find that enlightenment. But spiritual souls are also the people who are entrepreneurs who recognize that suddenly doing a 70-hour work week and having no life balance really sucks. And so what they do instead is they take their money, and instead of giving it away, some of them do, but some of them don't, they instead invest in automation, right? The people who purchase email systems and email funnels for me are in their spiritual souls, typically looking to automate and buy back their time freedom. That's their goal here. I made all this money. I had all this success. It didn't make me happy. And now I'm going to come down into my spiritual soul and I'm looking for impact. But what we do in the search for impact is often push away from our success, push away from our money. And we're just like, the money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money I need. I need impact in this life. Forget the money. The money didn't make me happy. It's about impact. And then we evolve again and we become our sevens. And our sevens are the people that go, hold up. In my 5, I made fantastic money. In my 6, I had incredible impact. Why can't I have it all?
Absolutely.
Right? Sevens want to have it all. We want to have our cake and eat it too. We want our mansion, but we also want to be philanthropical and give back to charity. We want to, in Tony Robbins' case, he wants to own his house in Hawaii or wherever it is. And he wants to create turkey Thanksgiving dinners all over the US. Yeah. Have our cake and eat it too. We become a complete paradox, and that's where we live. Then we move into our 8s. There are very few people in the world who are 7s and 8s, for the record, which is why we don't naturally, we can kind of understand it, but we can't unless you're one of them. And 8 is a cosmic connector. These are people who live in the quantum. Quantum isn't a buzzword for them. It's where they reside. They understand that we are working on multiple different timelines all at the same time, and that what's happening here may be happening somewhere else, and that everything we touch, interact with, and create something else somewhere else, right? It's not about the I, it's about the we, and it's a collective we, and it's an always we. There is no me, there's only we. Right?
I love that. Yes.
Now, here's the beautiful thing. You have 3 things that you need to look for. What value level or what belief bubble do I sit in? What belief bubble is my client? And what belief bubble is my business? And they typically are 3 different levels. And I'll tell you why. wherever your client is, you typically are a belief bubble ahead or a couple of them ahead of them. And the reason you are is because they're coming to you to help you up level their belief system, right? So if you're a 7, your clients are probably 5s. They're not 7s. They're not living with wealth every day and creating, charities to give away turkeys and like finding philanthropical, investments and stuff. They're 5s. They're just struggling. They're trying to figure out, how do I make my million? How do I invest in things? How do I do all that? And then they want you to show them that and move them into their 6, where they can start finally having the impact, because now they've achieved a level of success where impact is possible for them. And then ultimately they want you to move them into the 7. And once they're a 7, they typically will let you go. Your goal as a business owner is not to keep people for life. Your goal is to help up-level them in their belief system and to let them leave you when they reach the same belief system you're in, so they can either continue with somebody higher or they themselves can become the teacher. I know it's so counterintuitive to the way that we're brought up, but that's actually what you're doing. Now, the reason we want to know our business belief system is this. When we're in trauma, and I say trauma like with a loose term here, but when we're in trauma, meaning maybe we can't pay a bill, maybe somebody in our family died, or our pet passed away, maybe we get sick, we naturally slide down the belief bubble system. So if I'm a 7 and say I'm going through a divorce, I'm not going to stay a 7 during my divorce. I actually slide down a little and I might become a 5. Mm-hmm. My business never shifts. If my business is a 5, it's always a 5, irregardless of where I exist in the system. Mm-hmm. So I don't ever have to lose myself while I'm in trauma, because my business can hold it down in the moments when I cannot. Amazing. Does that make sense? So many of us get caught up in the idea that when we are in trauma, our business has to like go with us through the drama. It does not. It literally can coexist, but exist on its own plane where we don't have to take it with us. Mm-hmm. And we can come back to it stronger and better than ever. This is not to say never share your story. For those of you who are listening in and who are immediately being like, she's saying that I can't tell people about my stuff. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, if you are like me, I know my clients are 5s. My clients are high achievers. They're looking for financial success. The reason they hire a copywriter in the first place is to help them achieve the lead generation and the business that they're seeking. So I know that they're 5s. So even if I slid down and became very systems and process and rule oriented for myself, my clients are still 5s and I still get to serve them as 5s. They didn't change just because I did. It's not that I can't talk about some system or process or whatever that is happening for me. But if I still don't show up and show my 5s how to make more money, because that's what my business does, I'm going to lose my business. My clients aren't looking for another system or process to follow. My clients are looking for success. And I've got to take them to that level. So while quantum copy method is a method, it's a very short method that applies based on who you are. So really, I'm taking you from a model of, or a methodology, into an identity. And for my 5s, the challenge that we often have in our businesses is figuring out who the heck we are and who the heck our client is and what the heck we're doing here, right? So we frame it as a 4, because they're 4s when they come to me. They're 5s when they like really do this hard work of figuring out the identity. And then that's what's actually going to help you create the copy. So how this works for you is each of these levels has language attached to it. And I gave you the clues when I was telling you what all the languages are. We know that 5s love hustle, easier, better, faster, stronger. Anything with an on it that sounds like an easy button, 5s are all over it, right? We love that. We want return on our investment. We want to like make money while we sleep. We want all of that stuff. But if I want to speak to my 6s, I have to talk about impact. It's not so much about the amount of money they're going to make, as the impact that they're going to have in the world and how they're going to generate and create more impact. So the choice of words matters. The easy button to all of this is to really think of yourself. I want you to think of yourself 2 to 5 years from where you currently are. That's where your client is. Your client is not you. For any of you who are sitting here looking at me going, but my client's me. No, they're not you. They're the you of 2 years ago. So they may have some similar personality traits, some similar ideas that they like, but they aren't living and breathing the life that you are now, or else they wouldn't be hiring you in the first place. We don't hire the same person. We hire the person who's just a few years ahead of us to get us to that level. So stop writing for yourself and instead write for the human you were 2, 5, 10 years ago who needed this work. Write to them. That's your client. It's not you now. They will become this by doing this work with you, but they didn't start there, and you can't reach them if you can't speak to them in where they are now. Meet them where they're at, not where you're going to take them.
This is brilliant, Crystal. This is amazing. I love it. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing. And I see that this is a progression of like, human consciousness from like almost 2D to 6D, awareness of who you are and why you're here and what you're doing and why you're impacting and who you are impacting and in what way. So
100%. And all of us go through this. None of us are immune. None of us are exempt. We weren't born as 6s. Nobody was born an 8. We all start at 1 and move our way through, and the progression changes. Now, something interesting that I will say is that each of us goes through this belief bubble on multiple different levels in our lives all the time. Your relationship, for example, could be a 3. Nobody gets me. Nobody's like me. I can't find my person, right? We've all said that in relationships. Or you might be in the achievement aspect where you're like, wow, this is really easy. I'm finding great success in my relationships. This is wonderful. We all go through these systems and processes on multiple levels. It could be your relationship. It could be your business. It could be your health. The system might shift, but for all intents and purposes with copy, we're really talking about business. So I want you to frame this in a business context. What is your belief system around business? And really speak into what your client wants. If your client is somebody who's in the rule following organization, if you're wanting to work for government, school, religion, military, you better find those systems, process, tools, steps, methodologies, because that's what they need. That's what they want. They're not interested in airy-fairy intuitive. They really want you to tell them what to do and how do we definitively make those decisions and create those operatives, right? That's what we want. 5s want an easy button. They don't care about the steps to do it. They just want to know it's going to work and make them money. Your 6s are all about their impact. So if you're speaking that language to them, they can't help but feel pulled in because they see themselves. The trick is they see the mirror. And the mirror is super attractive because we care about who most in this world? Ourselves. We are the only ones who know us best. But we can do a really good job of knowing our client if we understand their belief system rather than the bag on their arm or the car that they drive.
Absolutely. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I love how you actually formatted into belief bubbles because we're operating, our reality is just a reflection of our beliefs, right? Who we are as business owners and who is our client is on the belief level. That's it. It's just belief to belief, right?
That's it. And it's no different than when you have a sales conversation. We will always buy from the person we believe.
Yeah.
If they don't believe you, the answer is no. And if they believe you, they will. And the more you can sit in your belief and your understanding of who you are, the more you are 100% going to say yes. The reason we say no to somebody, I'll give you a great example. I have coaches for myself, right? We all should. I believe in coaches. I think all of us need coaches in our lives. It's just, it is the quantum secret to expanding your business quickly, is
Absolutely.
having coaches, whether they're copy coaches, whether they're life coaches, whether they're relationship coaches. I believe in coaches. I was looking for a new coach for something, and I went to a coach and we had a conversation, and I tend to live in the 7. That is my belief system that I exist in. I give a lot back into the world. I also have no shame whatsoever in liking my beautiful home and liking to travel the world. There is no shame in, I work hard and I play hard, and that's how my life goes. And this coach that I wanted to hire, when I met her, I was a 7 can only hire a 7 or higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I met her, the first thing out of her mouth was, I don't believe anybody needs to make $300,000 plus a year. And I went, oh, because what she's telling me, if I'm paying attention, is that she's a 6 who is pushing away financial gain for impact. She believes that the money isn't the impact, and a 7 knows that money is part of me having an even bigger impact. But her 6 commentary was every indication on her website. I was like, this woman is spot on. She's who I need to hire. That simple conversation, that simple sentence made me go, oh, she's a 6, not a 7. She's not my human. She's not going to understand me. She's not going to understand what I'm trying to create. And so whether every time we're in a sales conversation, read between the lines of whether they'll, if they have another belief from you, it's not wrong, but you want to know whether the belief system is not greater, but higher up the chain than yours. There's not a belief system, by the way, that is better or worse than another. They're all on even playing field. It is awesome to be a 3. I loved when in my 3, I love being a 3 at times. I love my 5. My 4 was rock star. My 6 was amazing. 7 is killer. Love all of the belief bubbles you're in. It's not a matter of right or wrong, good or bad. It's just how you live your life right now. In this season, in this position that you are in, how are you living your life? Owning it. And then if and when you're ready to move up a level or levels, you hire people who are in levels higher than you to help you with the work so that you can up level faster.
Absolutely. I love it. Crystal, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. And is this available as a resource on your website?
So you can actually, so there's 2 things. You can take a free class where I do an introduction. It's completely free. It's 3 hours of me talking and giving you all of the specifics. If you wanted to do it right for posting on social media and doing all the things, you can take my free class. Main page of my website, halfway down, you'll find Take Copy for Coaches for free. Take that. If you want to learn more about belief bubbles, dive into how it impacts your sales and really look at the language of each of the belief bubbles. So you have your, I call it the copy, cheat sheet. It is literally your cheat code for how to access these humans. You have to take a class with me called Quantum Copy Method, and it's also available on my website right now.
Amazing. I love that. I'm going to link all these resources underneath this video because this is gold. This is what all of us need.
Thank you. It gets so much deeper. I mean, this is beautiful. This is like Quantum Copy 101. We get deeper into the how and the who, and we kind of tie it into human design and sales systems to really give you a better picture so that you walk away knowing exactly who you are, who your client is, and how to sell to them in an absolutely no-brainer, impactful, converting way always. And that is the goal of this work.
I love it. I love it, Crystal. This is amazing. Thank you. Woo. I feel like, all those bubbles, I can relate to some of them as my past selves, right? 7, I totally connect with that. 8, I had some enlightening moments in my lives where I'm sure you did too, where you just you are everything. You are that,
100%. I think it's really hard to live as an 8 all the time.
Yeah. And no, you can't ground yourself. You're just 8 is very ungrounded. It's hard to connect to humans. So a lot of us,
Even if we hit the 8, we'll step back and come back into our 7 or even our 6 or our 5. It depends on really where you are in your life and what's happening as to what exists. And again, none of it is better or worse than anywhere else. It just is what it is. But help each other out. The best thing that you can do with your business, if you are the person who's been searching for purpose, QCM also gives you purpose. You know who you are and who you're here to help and who you're not. And you also know where your next up level exists. If you're an 8, you have nowhere to go. That doesn't sound fun to me. If I have nowhere to go, I feel like I'm stagnant. I'm not doing anything. Whereas when I'm still a 5, a 6, a 7, a 3, I have room to grow and to flourish and to play. And each of them has a shadow side and a gift side. And in QCM, we dive deep into what are the shadows and gifts to really help you see who this person is and who you are. So at the end of it, it's just mind-blowing to me the number of people who are like, oh my goodness, I took this for copy and I actually had a complete breakthrough in who I am as a human.
Absolutely. This is amazing. I'm so grateful that you're sharing this with us, because this is just like it's not fundamentals. It's like, it's just like the entire way of perceiving yourself, your identity, the identity of your client, and how to connect, soul to soul on a deeper level, and how to give value and really elevate the consciousness of the world through serving your clients.
It's really the new currency. We used to market just purely based on like, I'm just going to push on a trigger point and sell you something to fix the problem. And some of that still works, but the truth is we're actually looking for connection, and we're looking for belonging, and we're looking for something that fits our belief system. It has to align with our belief system. If you want to sell me anything, it has to connect deeply to my belief. I won't buy it unless it supports the belief that I have about myself, about what I know, about where I want to go.
Absolutely. Oh, I loved our conversation today. So many like golden nuggets. This is like gold. This is amazing. Any final words to anyone watching this and recording? Like key takeaways. I know we've covered so much.
So much. Again, I think it's figuring out the 3. Figure out and be honest with yourself. Most of us, I will be honest, most of us think that we are a higher level than we actually are. Oh, this is fun. I get thumbs up when I give thumbs up. Most of us will think that we're a higher level than we actually are. So be honest. And if you're not sure, ask a friend. They will tell you what level you are actually operating in. And then figure out who your client is and who your business is. And start there. If you do nothing else, just start there. And honestly, look back to where was I 2 years ago, 5 years ago? What would I have wanted somebody to tell me back then? Absolutely. It's different than what you want now. And if you're writing your business for what you are now to appeal to you, you're doing it wrong, because your business isn't for you. It's for somebody else. You're the blueprint that they're looking for to guide them up the belief bubble ladder.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Crystal, I'm going to link your contact information, the resources underneath this video. I'm so grateful for you and your time and you sharing your wisdom. I resonate so deeply with everything that you are sharing. Thank you. From my soul to your soul, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. If you could give me the hosting back, I will stop the video recording.
I don't think I have hosting. You still have hosting.
Oh, do I still have the
hosting? You still have hosting. Right? You just shared a screen with me. It's all yours.
Oh, hold on. So let me see how I can. Oh, I can't stop the recording.
That's so funny. Hold on. Let me see.
I usually have a button, stop recording, but now I don't see it.
Hold on. Okay. Okay, it will let me make you a host. You did give me host.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, now it is. Yeah, there we go. Now. Okay, let me go ahead.
I was like, I didn't know you made me host, because normally when I share it, there's a way you can just share it.
Okay, so you were the host the whole time.
We're fine.
All right, everyone on the recording, I love you. I'll see you in the next video. But for Crystal, hang on for just one sec.
Sounds good.